Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kate, this is Diamond Painting and Dr. Pepper, and today I have a whip and chat for you guys. I'm going to be working on this kit, which is Cozy Christmas Witch by Marigona Suli, and I am starting on the top row, and I have already completed like this sliver all the way across where the perforated cover like the section started. So now I'm starting on like the bigger sections, and so it's upside down and I'm starting right here in this corner. I will be working with this pen that I got in a D-stash from a friend, so I'm not sure who the turner or the person who made the blank is, but it's really pretty and it matches the vintage colors of this kit so perfectly. I love it. And then I'm working with this very glittery Christmas color tray from Muni Made. I'm going to go ahead and open up the section so we can get started. By the way, this name placard here is by Shire Shenanigans, and I love it so much. So it's also a cover minder, and that's why I am using it here for that. How was your week, guys? If you celebrate Thanksgiving, did you have a good Thanksgiving? I had an amazing Thanksgiving, and we'll get into that in a bit. Today it was a little rougher. Today is Saturday, and for some reason I just woke up feeling under the weather, and it was real hard for me to get myself to get out of bed. So that was a bit tough because we still had my stepdaughter here visiting, and I wanted to hang out with her, but I just kept falling asleep like out on the couch and stuff. Eventually I took like a 2-hour nap out on the couch and was able to at least wake up in time to say goodbye to her as she left to go back home. But we did get a good few hour session of chatting in last night after the rest of the house had kind of quieted down and my husband was in bed and stuff. My stepdaughter Raya and I just kind of sat in my office and chatted for a few hours, and that's always a good time. We do that a lot when she visits, and it's just really fun to just, I don't know, just talk about different subjects and get that quality time in, because I don't get to see her as often now that she moved away a few years ago to live in a different state. It's a lot harder to have regular visits with her. And of course, in the daytime when she's here, she's usually spending most of her time with my husband, her dad, which is great. So the night times are our times. However, she's usually a very early to bed, early to rise kind of person, so opposite of me. And last night she was surprisingly up chatting with me till like 11:30, which is way late for her. So that was a special treat for me to be able to talk to her that long. So before that, we had spent the evening playing games and stuff, but I will get to more of that as I talk about, what happened during the week and stuff. So Monday and Tuesday were just normal days for me this week as far as, working and all that. My husband had those days off except for a few hours on Monday morning. So he was able to start working on getting the house ready for us hosting Thanksgiving on Thursday. And he did way more than he even had to. He took it as like a spring cleaning, but in November. And he cleaned areas that nobody was even going to go into when they came over. So I'm talking like our master bathroom and the upstairs loft and all that stuff that no one was going to be hanging out in. So everything kind of got a fresh and clean new start, which I super appreciate. My husband is very neat and tidy, and he loves a clean house, and I am very messy, and like I love when things are clean and organized, but I prefer to spend my time on other things than cleaning, which is something I have been trying to fix about myself for a long time, because it's not fair to my husband to do all of the cleaning in the house, and he doesn't do it all, but he does do the majority of it, just because, number one, he wakes up earlier than I do, and for him, one of the first things he does when he wakes up is a little tidying and cleaning. So he gets a lot of stuff done before I'm even awake, and then by the time I get off work, it's late and he is usually headed to bed, and some of the cleaning that I would do would be kind of noisy, so I can't do it when he's in bed because it would be, waking him up and stuff. So I do the things that I can do that are quieter, and just the way our household works, my responsibilities are a lot more to do with, like, when the dogs have to go to the vet, or we have to get groceries. That's my job, and I make sure everybody's supplies are up to date, like when the pets need medicine, or when we need to purchase something off Amazon that's getting low. That's the kind of stuff that I help out with and is my responsibility. And then, of course, anytime anyone needs to be taxied somewhere, like if Casey has a school event that he needs to be taken to, or parent-teacher conferences, or, that kind of thing. That's the kind of thing I'm in charge of. And it works for us for the most part. There are definitely times where I don't do enough of my part of the cleaning, and he can get frustrated with that, understandably. And it's worse when I'm having a mental health issue, like if I'm really depressed or anxious, I kind of want to shut off and distract myself as much as possible, because that's how I get through it, is by escapism. And I can't do that very well if I'm cleaning, because that leaves my mind free to think about stuff. I have to be watching something or listening to something in order to be distracted enough to not be really down. And yeah, it's just difficult. I need some kind of headphones or something that I can wear around the house and maybe listen to an audiobook while I clean. Maybe that would help motivate me. But anyway, he did an amazing job of getting the house ready for everybody, and I did help, when I was done with work or when I took breaks, and everything was spick and span for Thursday. And then on Wednesday is when Fletcher was able to arrive here by bus. So I picked Fletcher up. Fletcher is my second born, and he was able to come visit me for Thanksgiving because he was scheduled it off at work, surprisingly. So he had Wednesday and Thursday off, and he stayed here from Wednesday until Friday morning when he got back on the bus to go back home. So I picked him up on Wednesday, and then he came home with me and did a lot of work on the diamond painting that he keeps here while I finished working for the day. And, we chatted, and so he's working on Glacial Lake, and that's the one that he just stores here for whenever he's here. And he also brought a crochet project he's working on, which is something that he's going to wear to Dragonsteel Con that we're going to this week. Guys, I'm so excited. He is working on a crocheted mist cloak from the book series Mistborn. So he's making his own cosplay out of crochet for our trip. And he has several more of the tassels to finish, but he's almost done and it's looking really cool. If you guys have read those books, shout it out in the comments below and let me know. They're fantastic books, the Mistborn series. Anyway, so then we had Olive Garden for dinner because I offered to, we have one Olive Garden in town and it's across town from where we live, but I offered to go get that for dinner because my husband had been working so hard for the whole week and that's his absolute favorite restaurant we have in town and we hadn't had it in a long time. And they don't deliver like on any of the apps or anything. So I went and got that and it was delicious. I got the ravioli carbonara, which has it's filled with cheeses, but it has an Alfredo sauce and chopped bacon. So it was really good. I couldn't eat very much of it because it's really rich, and that's probably good because it didn't affect my blood sugar too much because I didn't eat much of it. And then Thursday, Thanksgiving, we woke up and started working on cooking. My husband roasted 2 turkeys. We borrowed a roaster from my mother-in-law, and we have one of our own. And so we got the birds going. He really did all of that pretty much. And I worked on creating the side items, appetizers that I typically make. So I made deviled eggs. He helped me actually prepare the hard-boiled eggs ahead of time so that we'd have a lot and I was worried there wouldn't be enough and they all were eaten. But I made I think a total of 50 deviled eggs and that was I don't think that was enough because they all were eaten. And then I also made stuffed mushrooms and those went too fast too. We usually have a few leftovers of those, but this time they all got eaten also. And then I made spinach artichoke dip and I made a double batch of that. And luckily there are leftovers of that because I love having Thanksgiving leftovers. My mother-in-law made the stuffing this year. She does mostly every year. And it's delicious, the stuffing she makes. Unfortunately, this time there weren't any leftovers of that. And so I did go and buy another package or 2 of stuffing that I can make so that I can have it with the leftover turkey and stuff. We made 2 turkeys so that we'd be sure to have enough leftover turkey for turkey sandwiches and just, turkey with stuffing and gravy. We didn't have any leftover mashed potatoes either, so I don't know if I feel up to making those. I shouldn't really be eating that many carbs anyway, but I do love mashed potatoes. The cider ice that I talked about last week turned out really well. It was very delicious and spicy and kind of melt in your mouth. I will definitely show some footage in my vlog of all these things that should be coming out this week. And it was really awesome to have the whole family here. And, well, most of the family. My oldest daughter, Sam, went to visit her dad in Washington for Thanksgiving. Fletcher usually goes too, but unfortunately couldn't this time because he only had the 2 days off, and Sam was planning to stay up in Washington until Sunday, so Fletcher couldn't hitch a ride and go along, and Fletcher's car is not up for that kind of a trip. It's many hours, and that car is definitely on its last legs. But more about that later. So we had, I think, 18 people total for our family meal, and we had a pool tournament, which I lost, sadly, but my dad won, so that was cool. Oh man, I did have the right amount there. And we had a little find your turkey name kind of activity where everybody had to look up what their turkey name would be based on the first letter of their name and their birth month. And there were some really funny ones. And then before we started the meal, we had everybody introduce the person sitting next to them as their turkey name. It was really funny. Mine was, let me see if I can remember, corny butter rolls. That was mine. I liked Fletcher's. It was feathered sugar bottom. So yeah, that was a fun little activity, and hopefully in the future we can do something like that too, because it was just a good time. And then of course for dessert we had pumpkin pie and apple pie, and my dad actually made a lot of fun dessert like snacks. I didn't know it, but he made butterscotch brownies, which is one of my absolute favorite Thanksgiving time desserts. I associate it with like the fall, and I was thinking that I would make them soon, but my dad made them instead, and it was an amazing surprise because they were fantastic. And he also made chocolate oatmeal drop cookies and haystacks, which he had made at Halloween time for like our fall family get together. And Casey requested he make them again. So he did. And he made 7-Up butter biscuits that were very delicious, and some gluten-free cornbread for my brother-in-law who has celiacs. So that was nice. And it was pretty tasty, even if it's gluten-free. So I kept a few pieces of that as leftovers too. And then we did play some family games of 10,000 before most people left. And then it was time for the countdown live on Diamonds and Washi's channel for Diamond Art Club's Black Friday drops. And Fletcher and I sat down with a couple of Christmas diamond painting projects. It's like a 2D Christmas tree, and we each did one side of that then gets put together so it stands up and it's like 3D. And then a Christmas ornament that's the same way. We each did one side of it. So that was really fun, and watched the live, which was amazing. Always a good time. I look forward to that every year. And then, of course, the countdown ended, and it was time to make a mad dash to go try and purchase the kits we wanted. And I was able to, it was touch and go for a second because for some reason my discount code wasn't working, but eventually it did, and luckily nothing sold out in the time that took. So I was able to get everything that I had in my cart. I got 4 for Fletcher and 3 for me. So I ended up with Star Spirit by Jamushka, or Jamaica Murphy, which I think is just absolutely gorgeous. I love just the vibe of that painting so much. And then I got Duck Bath, and Fletcher also got Duck Bath. I don't know what it is about that painting, but it is so charming and so fun. And I noticed a lot of other people really felt the same way about that one. And it was just really fun to see that new artist come in and for everybody to be so excited together. I really hope we see more of her artwork soon. Because I love it. There's one piece that she has. It's art by Julia. And she has one piece on her like portfolio website that I swear comes right out of like Stardew Valley. But it's got the same little ducks that are in Duck Bath. And they're sitting on the roof of this cute little cottage. And it's adorable. By the way, I'm sorry if you can hear my my washing machine. It is being very extra right now. But hopefully it'll stop soon. So, and then the third one that I got for myself was Breakfast Buddies by Ivy Dollamore. And that one is so pretty. I could not pass that one up. So those were my three. And then Fletcher got Duck Bath, like I said, plus the two Chrysabug Zodiacs, because he has actually been collecting the Chrysabug Zodiacs this whole time. So he is continuing with his collection. And then I'm trying to remember what the last one he got was. And it's not coming to mind, so I'll have to look it up because I can't remember. Oh, right. It was Pages by Yume. He got that one. And that one is really pretty too. It's got it's really cool because it's like a book with a girl running across the pages and a dog following her. But the pages themselves look like you're turning pages of different nature materials like sand and water and stuff. So it's really neat. So those are the ones we got. And then after that was all done and the live stream was over, I had kitted up this kit the night before, like while Fletcher was working on his diamond painting. And so I did some more work on this kit, getting it, getting that first row done at the top. So that was really fun. Because Fletcher went to bed. So then the next day, we woke up pretty early so that I could take Fletcher to, well, early for me, normal time for most people. But Fletcher's bus was leaving at like 11:20. So I got up at 10 and my dad came over to kind of like hang out with us before Fletcher had to leave. And he did this thing that if you have anxiety like I do, you'll understand how this made me feel. He was like, hey, I thought I'd ride with you guys to the bus station because I want to talk to you and Fletcher. And if you know someone with anxiety, never tell them, hey, can we talk later? I have something to talk to you about. Just the wait was excruciating. Luckily, we didn't have to wait long before it was time to drive Fletcher to the bus station because it was, he had to get there. We had to leave at like 10:55, I think, so that he could get there before, the bus was set to leave at 11:20. So we get in the car and I'm like, okay, Dad, spill it. Because I didn't know why he couldn't talk to us about it in front of like Raya or my husband and stuff. So I was all anxious, but basically it wasn't anything bad. His friends who live in Washington want to sell their car that is a newer car than Fletcher's by several years and has less miles. And he was offering to help Fletcher purchase it so that Fletcher can have a more reliable car, which is super sweet of him. And Fletcher did take him up on it. So we're trying to figure out the next steps as far as getting the car here from, it's like, I don't know, something like 10 hours away from us. So that's going to be the kicker. And then we have to arrange to sell Fletcher's old car so that we can, hopefully put some of that money towards the new one. So I think it's a 2006 Honda Accord. And what Fletcher's driving right now is a 97 Dodge Neon. So it's a pretty big upgrade. Neons were never made to be like the epitome of quality. And it's pretty impressive that car has lasted until now, considering. I mean, that's over 20 years old. So not bad. But it is starting to be concerning as far as the gas gauge doesn't work, so Fletcher just has to keep track of how many miles he's driven and make sure to put gas in it before he's driven the amount of miles it would run out of gas at. And it doesn't always work as an exact science because I have had to rescue him a time or two, but that was, back before he was super used to it. It luckily hasn't happened recently, but because we live in different cities now. But yeah, and it's just when we drove it from here down to when Fletcher moved from here down to his new city an hour away, by the time we got there, it was smoking from the engine. So I told him never again, don't drive it that far ever again. So that's why he has to take the bus or the train to come visit me, because his car just is not safe for driving long distances. And I'm hoping this newer car will be in better condition and he won't have to, work within the bus and train schedule, and maybe he can visit more. So yeah, that would be amazing. And it was a really sweet thing for my dad to offer. We appreciate it. But yeah, once Fletcher got on the bus, which is always a sad time for me. Actually, when he was here, I keep sidetracking, but it was kind of funny when he was here. He was saying he really missed being able to hang out in my office with me and diamond paint together, and sometimes he wished he could just move back home and stop having to adult, which I totally get. But he has been putting down roots in his new city and has actually just, I'm opening up a new section here, sorry about that, has actually just applied for a better job, and I'm crossing my fingers he gets it, because that would be really ideal. It has the perfect schedule for him, and more room for advancement and all that stuff. So here's hoping. But yeah, it was really sweet to hear him say that he missed just being able to hang out with me, and he missed being at home, because I miss him all the time too. So we both know that it's not, something that we can ever probably go back to, but it's just kind of bittersweet knowing that we both really treasured that time and we both miss it, So anyway, I started to say, after he got on the bus and went back home, my dad and my husband and Raya and I played some games at home. So I did get to play my board games like I wanted. We played one that Raya has just recently got called Zombie Chickens. And it's kind of like, if you've ever played Plants vs. Zombies, it's kind of like that, but it's a card game. You have to set up defenses during the day and then hope that once the night hits, you have the right defenses to be able to defeat these zombie chickens that come out and attack your farm. So we played that quite a bit, actually. It was really fun. And then we played my Firefly game, and that took quite a while, but I was really excited to have my husband and Raya play it because it's the kind of game I thought they would like. They both like games where you have to be kind of strategic, and Raya won, so that was really fun. And then we even got Casey, my son Casey, to come and play zombie chickens with us later after my dad went home for the day. And we figured out there's a co-op mode where you can like play as a team and have one big farm and work together to defeat a ton of waves of these zombie chickens. So it was a good time. And then that was yesterday. So that's the night that Raya spent chatting with me after everybody else had kind of retired for the evening. And it was kind of funny because it just so happened that was also the night that I got invited to join a video chat with a few of my friends that happened spontaneously from the diamond painting community. And I obviously would really want to join, but I was prioritizing chatting with Raya because we don't get to visit very often. So that's why I was surprised I kept telling him, oh, I'll join the video chat when Raya goes to bed because she doesn't usually stay up that late. And then she ended up staying up till 11:30. So I got a lot more time with her than I expected. But by the time I joined the video chat with my friends, several of them were pretty much ready for bed because like Michaela's East Coast, so she's 2 hours, well, not quite East Coast, it's Wisconsin. So she's 2 hours ahead, and it was pretty late for her. She's an early to bed, early to rise kind of person too, and yeah, I think she stayed up later than she expected to just so that, she could hang out longer. And same with Courtney. I think Courtney might be an hour ahead. She's in Idaho, or maybe she's the same. I don't know. Is Idaho on the same Pacific time or Mountain time? I don't know. But yeah, it was really fun chatting with them and Katie, who was the other person chatting with us. And they kept, people would drop off, but Katie and I we're the late night people. So we ended up chatting till like 3 a.m. And it was great to be able to catch up with those ladies because I just really appreciate being friends with all of them, and the fact that they invited me to chat with them was really cool. So if my voice sounds a little rough today, it's because I spent all evening talking yesterday, and I don't do that very often, but it was so much fun. And then today, I woke up feeling, like I said, not quite right. So most of my day has just been napping, honestly, and just trying to be here and take part in, what was going on. My dad came over again to eat some leftover turkey and hang out with Raya, but I was no good company because I was crashed out on the couch and I kept falling asleep. So he didn't stay super long, but it was good to see him. And of course, he brought his dog Apollo, who's always fun to see. So that was today. And then I finally gave up and just went and laid down in bed and tried to catch up on some YouTube because things have been so busy that I am behind on all of my favorite YouTube videos and channels. So that's what I've been working on this evening. And then I felt good enough that I let my husband have the bedroom so that he could watch his comfort shows and get ready for bed so that I could come in here and diamond paint and chat with you guys. And so far, I'm feeling okay. The Dr. Pepper's helping, speaking of which. Yeah, that's the good stuff. I had two people today, Jade and Ashley, both sent me a picture of this cake they saw on social media that was really pretty cake that had like Dr. Pepper cans pouring out fondant Dr. Pepper, and there were ice cubes on it and stuff. Jade is also a Dr. Pepper drinker, so she was like, oh, look, it's for us. And Ashley just told me it reminded her of me, so that was really thoughtful. And it looks very tasty, but I'd also probably never be able to bring myself to cut into a cake that pretty, you know what I mean? But it was really cool to see it, and it felt really good that, they thought of me. As for this kit, I struggled a lot trying to decide which Christmas kit I wanted to do, because I knew I wanted to do one more besides Cabin, which is the first one that I kitted up for Christmas. And I had so many great options from the Christmas drop this year that it took me forever to finally decide. But my mind just kept coming back to this one. The colors on this one make me so incredibly happy. And I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I decided this would be the one, even though it is the absolute largest of all of the ones I got this year for, the Christmas drop. It's 69.9 by 98.8 centimeters, which is just a tiny bit smaller than Cabin, and so there's no way I'm gonna complete this by Christmas. But it does have more color blocking than Cabin does, so I think it'll go a little faster than that one. But yeah, I just couldn't resist, and it's okay if it ends up going into like the first few months of the year. I'll be okay. I think this one's colors are so not specifically Christmassy in a way that's gonna make me feel like it's weird to be doing it after Christmas. At least that's what I'm hoping. So I'm excited to be working on this one, and yeah, we'll see how long it takes me. But I will be taking a break from diamond painting next week because that's when we're going to Dragonsteel Nexus, which is the convention I've been talking about for Brandon Sanderson, my favorite author. And that is happening Thursday is when we're flying out. And I cannot wait. I am very, very excited. And if I don't post a WIP in chat next week, which I probably won't, that's why. It's because I'm going to be gone for the end of that week. I will probably still post a vlog, the week after that. It's probably going to have footage from the con. So that'll be fun, I hope. Hopefully they'll let me take footage, from different parts of the convention. We'll see. I've never been to Dragonsteel before, so I don't know what the vibe is, but I am very excited to find out and report back. Okay, I think that is all I had to update you guys on about this week. So I will now move into our yay or nay section. So last week's question for yay or nay was, do you take part in Black Friday sales? And the answer this time was 8-4 yay. So the yays have it this week. As for me, I pretty much, if there's something big that my husband and I know that we need, like for the house, we might wait. If it's close to Black Friday anyway, we might wait till Black Friday or Cyber Monday and see what kind of deals pop up for that specific thing we're looking for. And then we will, take advantage of the timing. But it's all online. We don't usually go in anywhere to purchase anything for Black Friday. And yeah, so if we have to wait a long time and it's something we need, we won't wait for Black Friday. We'll just make the purchase then. But yeah, if the timing happens to line up, definitely we'll take advantage of that, as long as we don't have to deal with a bunch of crowds to to do that. And of course, I do shop diamond painting Black Friday at Diamond Art Club, as I talked about earlier. As for you guys, Susan H. says, I'm looking forward to online Black Friday sales, but I stay away from stores as much as I can. Jeannie Full says, my first Black Friday at DAC. Never been interested in Black Friday till now. Ooh. Jackie's Crafty Time says, yeah, for myself, being Canadian, we have Black Friday week-long sales, so I've gotten most of my daughter's toys. In my town, it doesn't get that crazy here. Good. I'm glad you don't have to deal with crazy crowds. Diamonds at Tiffany's says, yay, I love Black Friday shopping. I have done the lineup at an obscene hour at the store thing, and it was fun, but now if I can't do it online, I don't need it that bad. Yeah, I totally hear you. Pam's DP Crafty Corner says, I used to do Black Friday sales, but honestly, so many good deals are online now that I just do that. I got used to not going into the stores, and now I prefer not to go into the actual buildings. Seems like we're all kind of similar. Lena over at Library of Diamonds says, nay, and not because I'm against it or anything, I just did not grow up with much of that here. I remember once going to the US for a Black Friday. Never again, but now it looks different with online sales. Is so much different, and in Mexico a few years ago it started something similar the weekend before US's Black Friday, so it's become a thing here already. Oh, that's cool. I mean, maybe it's not that cool for you since you don't take part, but I think it's cool that it's like traversing over borders and stuff. So yeah, thank you guys so much for responding and taking part in Yay or Nay. The question for this week is, do you like pumpkin pie? So yay or nay, do you like pumpkin pie? Oh, and if you want an optional thing to add, do you like pumpkin pie with a little bit of whipped cream or whipped cream with a little bit of pumpkin pie? But yeah, guys, I think that's all I have for you today. So thank you so much for being here and spending time with me while I worked on these sections of Cozy Christmas Witch. And I will DAC you in my next video. Bye, everybody.